are at our second racetrack of the weekend out here. On Memorial Day weekend, we headed out to Cedar Falls, as you guys know, and most of that event ended up getting rained out. They just kind of called it off in advance. So we actually made our way back home. We're here racing in the valley, but I just kind of wanted to give a little quick tip here on something that I've been thinking a little bit more about and working on a little bit more, and that is the fact that not all Christmas trees are equal, you guys. They're not all set up exactly the same. They vary a little bit from track to track, and that is the auto start settings are different. So one thing that's super handy is to have a practice tree. This is the Porta Tree Eliminator Next Gen, and you can actually go in here and adjust these settings that I'm talking about. So if you go into settings, scroll over, and here's the auto start settings, you guys. So what I did, of course, was I threw in the auto start settings for the Cedar Falls track earlier this week, and then when I made my practice hits all week long, I was set up for the Cedar Falls tree, and I got a good feeling for how that tree feels. Now we're at a different track, of course. A day later, the auto start settings are actually quite a bit different. I mean, I shouldn't say quite a bit different, but it only takes a little bit of difference to really feel like an eternity up on the starting line. It only can be like, you know, a couple tenths different or something like that, and it can really just throw you off your game. I've noticed it, so I've been trying to do a little bit more practicing when I'm going to different tracks. So what you see here are actually the auto start settings from the Cedar Falls racetrack. All you have to do is contact the tower, just call the track and ask them for the auto start settings, and they will tell you what they are. You can see here that the stage on time at Cedar Falls is 0.6 seconds, so that is how long the bulb needs to be on before it considers itself on. So that's basically the flicker protection. You can think of that stage on time. The stage to start is 1.1 seconds, so after that 0.6 seconds is up and you're in, then the computer is going to start 1.1 seconds later. Then of course that start delay, that's 0.2 seconds. That's like a variable, so that's the variance in the tree. The tree isn't going to come on at the exact same time every single pass. There's going to be that 0.2 variance. However, that 0.2 variance happens after these other two things. So you can see here at Thunder Valley, auto start settings are actually right on the ticket. It's 0.6 for the flicker protection, then 1.2 is when the computer starts after everybody's in, and then the timeout is 15 seconds. So that's a really long timeout. Cedar Falls, of course, is set at a more, that's more standard. You see that more often, is at the 10-second mark. So the only real difference between these two tracks is the 1.1 to the 1.2. Now that might not seem like a lot of difference, but I'll tell you what, if you guys are up on the starting line, you're making a lot of hits, you start to get into a rhythm, and then you switch that just a tenth of a second, you can feel it. It can throw you out of your rhythm. It can screw you up if you're not prepared for it. So it's just something to be aware of, and it's something that I've been doing, is kind of making sure that I have these settings dialed in. It's also important to note that not all time slips have the settings. This here is the CompuLink timing system, and there are no auto start settings on here anywhere. So you may have to contact the tower to get that information. You got trouble?
Yeah, she just died on me in the shutdown. Ran good all the way down and let off of it and just died. But it wasn't idling good, and I think I may have found it already. I think I had a...
You need me to send someone up here then?
Jim Anderson came around.
You already are good? Okay. Alrighty.
We're good. Thank you, Tom.
Sun's shining, Dad.
Yeah.
We're racing. Look at that. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking earlier about how you got about 1,000 foot in, and how the car was just
screaming.
Yeah. And you want to put...
We better not put that in the video. Better not put that in the video. We don't want no one knowing about that yet.
Ew! Get it away! No! Olivia, gross.
What'd you get?
Say ew!
Look at this kid. He is bringing me money. He's got me money. Look at him, because he knows what's up. Right there, 40 bucks and you got yourself a nice looking hoodie, buddy. See you later, bro.
See ya.
We going for a ride, buddy? What's up, guys, and good morning. I gotta finish out last night's vlog because I'll tell you what, the late night racing is a little bit difficult to keep up with the vlog sometimes because you know, the racing, the pace is a little quicker, and of course Amanda has to get these kiddos in bed, and she can't really get much footage that way, and it just kind of makes it hard. So last night's video, probably just a lot of on-car, in-car footage. Didn't have a whole lot of time to break things down, but it was a good night of racing. I'll tell you what, we had a ton of fun. I was decent on the tree, you know, turning on teen lights most of the night. Kind of got away from me towards the end there in the semifinals, and in the final, wasn't too happy with my performance. But then in the final round, I had the car dialed all sorts of wrong. We ended up going real slow in the semifinals. All the increments were really, really slow in the semifinal. And so then I had the car dialed slow for the final, and lo and behold, the car was gonna be on the fastest pass of the weekend in that final round when I had the car dialed super slow. So we got to the big end, and I'll tell you what, I got rid of 8 miles an hour, and it still was not enough. And I ended up hogging up the stripe. I had 35 stripe, broke out by 5 thou. Feel pretty stupid about that. I mean, that's an ugly ticket to look at because I had plenty of room to make it right. But when you kick 8 miles an hour out of it, I'm just, my brain was like, man, you've kicked 8 miles an hour out of it, you're probably safe. And I was wrong because of how wrong I had the car dialed. So that's where we're at on that. So we're gonna try it again today, Memorial Day weekend. We have 2 races out here today. Sun is shining, having a good time. But thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, subscribing. Got anything to say, Leonard? Not so much? All right, later.